show.
Will Kerr start Cousins if he's good to go for Game 1? And who is under more pressure in the finals, Kawhi Leonard or Steph Curry?
We're talking about the Lakers again? They did what now? Will free agents actually want to sign there?
And from Jamal's horse shot to the bounce, we're going to count down the top 10 plays of the 2019 playoffs.
It's Tuesday, May 28th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey. I'm J.E. Skeets, alongside me as always, Tass Mellis, and we got the Aussie Lee Ellis. No bearded one, no Trey Kirby tonight. He is up in Toronto getting ready for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We're going to talk to him live on tomorrow's show, but on tonight's program, we got to talk about the Lakers, guys.
What?
The Lakers are back in
3
the
days?
news. Yes, exactly. We'll get into that. We got the top 10 plays of the playoffs so far, but first, let's peep that NBA Finals schedule. Game 1 gets underway, finally, on Thursday. We're getting a little bit closer. Now, we know Kevin Durant is out for the start of the finals, but center DeMarcus Cousins is listed as questionable for Game 1 as he continues to work his way back from a torn left quad. Cousins, who went down in the first round, was initially listed as unlikely to return for the rest of the postseason, but now Game 1 is a possibility. But here's my question to you guys and everyone joining us live tonight. If he's healthy, should Steve Kerr and the Warriors start DeMarcus Cousins right from the get-go in Game 1? What do you think?
I think he should start Game 1. And he's scrimmaging. He's out there. And Steve Kerr said if it was the regular season, he would throw him out there to get some reps. And yes, he may not be 100%. But you look at the guys that are starting at center, and they don't really demand a lot from their center position. They started 3 different guys in a 4-game series against Portland at center. Bogut, Damian Jones, and Jordan Bell. Those guys at 100% aren't 80% of DeMarcus Cousins. No disrespect to them, but DeMarcus Cousins is a special, special guy. And if you want to see special DeMarcus later on in this series, if you want to see that 20 and 10, he's got to get reps. And again, playing him with Curry and Klay Thompson, I think just doesn't put a lot of pressure on him. You can take him off. I think it's a no-lose situation, really. I think he can be as good as those other guys in limited minutes and then get going.
He can, but sometimes the pace of the game is so different to no matter how many times you practice that if he does in any way re-injure that quad early on, it could rule him out for the rest of the series. So if I was the coach, personally, I would say, you know what, let's just play this first quarter, maybe in the first half, just to sort of see where the game's going, and then if we can integrate you maybe in the second half at some point, just to get a feel for being back out on the court there, because you know a lot of times players you do see, like if it's a game where they have to play, sure they go out there and they take that risk, but Game 1, it doesn't matter if the Warriors don't win that game. I mean, they've got plenty of time in the series, so maybe you just want to sort of see how he feels first, see how he copes, and then just see how he's playing, see how the shot looks, see how the defense is, because that takes a little bit of time to just get back into that rhythm. So I'd be a little more cautious myself.
Yeah, I buy that. Here's another thing you may want to consider, though. Steve Kerr might. Who are the Raptors starting in Game 1? We assume it'll be Marc Gasol, who has started throughout the postseason. Big guy, that makes sense if Cousins was in there.
Good matchup.
To go battle each other. But what if it is a Serge Ibaka? And the idea is like, you know, the Raptors say, no, we're going to start a bit of a smaller guy, more athletic guy. It's possible. I think he will go Gasol, Nick Nurse will, but that could sort of dictate who Kerr goes with. And the other guy you didn't mention from all those starters that Kerr threw out in that last series versus the Blazers was Kevon Looney, who played really, really well, I thought, for the Warriors, and got a good chunk of minutes even, and played in some clutch situations as well. He's going to be in the mix regardless if Cousins is back or not.
It's very unique that they're not starting Kevon Looney, that Damian Jones started over him, that Jordan Bell started over him. I think they know something about Kevon Looney, that they want him to play as a backup. There's something going on there where he has not started one game this postseason, but Damian Jones and Jordan Bell have. So I think he continues to come off the bench. DeMarcus Cousins, though, even if it's Serge Ibaka, he would probably give Serge Ibaka all sorts of shots from the perimeter. Serge, go ahead and shoot it. I think the Warriors like to rally around DeMarcus Cousins. They got him here in his first postseason he's playing in to go out and ball. And when he went down, they were very, very torn apart. And so I think they want to see him at his best, and waiting maybe until Game 3 or Game 4, you might not get a good DeMarcus. I think this would be good for him and good for the rest of the team just to see him out there. And no matter who the center is for the Raps, I think DeMarcus plays it. You know, it's a good you play both sides. Gasol is a good matchup for DeMarcus Cousins as well. But Cuz can do a lot of things out there, and I think it would be good for the team to rally around him.
And what about the Warriors going small? And going with the death lineup, the mega death lineup, with Draymond really as your 5, and maybe try and play Marc Gasol off the floor, maybe even Serge to some extent off the floor, and make Nick Nurse go, man, do we have to play Pascal at the 5?
Yeah.
Or maybe OG eventually does come back in the series for the Raps, as he's sort of one of your bigs in play as well. That's also, I think, there as a possibility for
Well,
Curry.
I think
To start, you think?
No, not to start, because he generally doesn't. Well, I mean,
He has done
outside
it,
of the
though.
Rockets,
Yeah.
I
Only
mean, we saw him
special
start
times, yeah.
Iguodala and those guys, but I don't think he will start with that, especially if
Yeah.
Gasol is getting the start. For
But
the
either way, the Raptors, if DeMarcus does start, I think they do have to go at him and try to get him into foul trouble. And
Right.
because he's going to be a little bit rusty, so you think,
that's true.
you know, he's probably going to be not quite up to standard. So the Raptors have to try to make him work a little bit, because you know DeMarcus will be a little bit, anxious, a little bit nervous to get out there. So if there's any advantages the Raptors can take out of it, I think they have to really try to poke at it.
Does this help the Raptors' chances in this series? This idea of maybe Cousins is going to play in Game 1, maybe he comes back a little bit later. Then, oh yeah, what about Kevin Durant? Is he coming back for Game 2? He's traveling to Toronto. Is he not coming back until Game 3, if at all? Like, does this idea actually give a little check mark to the Raps, the idea of the Warriors don't even know who the heck they're playing? I know they're all about strength and numbers, and they got a lot of guys that have played really quality minutes for them, but that's some juggling for Steve Kerr to try and figure out. Or does that not concern you at all?
I don't think with Cousins, because they don't ask a lot of their centers. Hey, catch the ball, set a pick, make a beautiful pass. And Cousins can do that with one Achilles or two Achilles or one quad or two quads. He's that talented. But yeah, I don't think the juggling with Kevin Durant is a problem either. He's just too good.
It's a good problem, you said. A good problem on last night.
It's one of them good problems.
Incorporating two players into the starting lineup would be a little bit of an adjustment there for the Warriors, but Durant clearly isn't going to play Game 1. But it'll be interesting to see. I know we sort of talked about it a little bit briefly. If the Raptors do win Game 1, if that hastens Durant's return at all, or if they lose it, they say, you know what, let's just keep him going out for another game, because I think that's got to be in the back of Steve Kerr's mind. If Cousins goes down again, okay, they can weather that storm. But if they lose Durant, then that really does change the entire series.
And Durant is traveling to Toronto. He's not playing
it's a great
in Game
city.
1.
Why wouldn't he go there?
Yeah, exactly. Trey's up there. Go hang out with him.
Well, the weather's not all that flash.
Let's no, it could warm up a little bit. All right, let's talk a little bit about the stars into this series, specifically Kawhi and Steph Curry. Kawhi's carried the Raps, and a country for that matter, to their first NBA Finals. But some people think a championship is going to be the only thing to keep him in Toronto long term. As for Curry, this is his 5th straight Finals appearance, but he's never won a Finals MVP. And some people, you're laughingly, but some people hold that over him. So my question, we're talking about the stars here. Which one of these guys is under more pressure heading into the Finals? Is it Kawhi or is it Curry, if you had to pick between the two?
I don't think it's Kawhi Leonard, because the Raptors have already exceeded expectations in a lot of ways to get there. Not the fact that going into the season they didn't expect this, but where they came from to end up getting into the finals. So I guess from that legacy standpoint for Steph Curry, it's like if they don't win the championship this season and say they do and he doesn't win Finals MVP, people will sort of hold that stuff unnecessarily against him. We know how good he is. We know how great he is. But sometimes, as Steph Curry said, he wants that trophy. He wants to win that award. So does he go out there and look for that a little bit too much?
Especially without Durant for at least Game 1.
I mean, that's the thing. I think if the Warriors win, he's an absolute certainty to win it if Durant doesn't play, or even if Durant only plays, 1 or 2 games. But it's one of those things. I mean, this, for Steph Curry, if he wins 4 championships and doesn't have a Finals MVP,
you wouldn't care at all.
No one cares at all. No.
I don't think he cares. We talk about the same thing every single year. Steph needs a Finals MVP. Steph needs a Finals MVP. I don't think he's come out and said, like he did yesterday, that it's a special award and I do want one.
Right.
I think this is his opportunity now. He is the heavy favorite in all books out there to win this Finals MVP. I wouldn't call it pressure, though. Even though Kawhi's playing with house money, I think there's more pressure on him on the court because they're going to play him one-on-one. And I wonder if you're going to get a Fred VanVleet performance out there, because they've got the guys to not double Kawhi Leonard. So I don't think there's going to be open guys around him the same way, because you've got Iguodala, you got Clay, you got Draymond Green, you got Kevin Durant if he comes back. So there's going to be pressure on him to do so much, I think, in this series.
Just one more cue about Curry and his Finals performances. Do you think he's played phenomenal basketball in the Finals, the 4 previous Finals? If you had to grade him, what would you grade him?
Well, last year,
in
I
his
think
4
after
finals.
2 games, I said he was an absolute lock to win Finals MVP.
Right.
He didn't, because of that one bad game.
Yeah.
I think Steph Curry has such a high standard and such a high bar that if he falls a tiny bit underneath it, people say, well, he's not performing well. He's been brilliant. He maybe hasn't been brilliant in every game, but overall, he's been dominant.
And I went back to look at it. He's had just as many games where he scored over 30 points in a Finals game. He's had 7 of those games in this run. As many as he's had games where he scored under 20 points. Yeah. Or he had 7 of those as well. So he's had some duds. He's a couple 11-point performances. And you're right. I think when he has one of those, it's sort of a wrap for him. when you're playing with other talented guys like Kevin Durant.
I think Delhi locked him up a couple of years ago once as well.
Oh, you think Delhi took one away from him? Well, there's the controversial Iguodala one that some people thought. I remember we were debating it here on the show. Maybe that one even should have gone to Curry, but he had that one specific bad game. Or LeBron in a losing effort, but doesn't matter. Ultimately, overall, when we look back on Curry.
I guess for us, no. But I guess it does to him. I mean, he came out and said it, and he kind of wants it on the shelf.
Let's see, that scares me as a Raptors fan. Curry gunning for a Finals MVP. Here are our predictions for the Raps Warriors NBA Finals. We made these on yesterday's show, talked about them on the Drop podcast. Go check that out.
A lot of red and black.
It's unbelievable still seeing this. We got 3 guys here taking Raptors in 7. Wow. Jump on board, people. Lee, the voice of reason, taking the Warriors in 6. Hey, we'll find out. It finally gets going on Thursday, but when we come back, the Lakers dysfunction is back in our lives. The days of our lives. It's a soap opera. Don't go anywhere.
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
ESPN writer Baxter Holmes published a bombshell feature earlier today about the Lakers' culture of fear, distrust, and anxiety. The dirty laundry was aired, and honestly, no one was really spared. Not former Lakers exec Magic Johnson, current GM Rob Pelinka, owner Jeanie Buss, even LeBron and his agent Rich Paul. Highly recommend you go and check out this very, very lengthy article on the Lakers. But guys, what's your biggest takeaway from the Lakers' dysfunction here within this article?
My biggest takeaway was, first, a lot of people in the Lakers organization want to talk about how they don't like their jobs or what's happening in there. It's really Los Angeles leakers situation.
Sure.
Everybody wants to talk about it. Not a lot of people want to go on the record, but Baxter Holmes got a lot of people talking about how this organization has just simply gone to the poops since Jerry Buss passed away. I don't know what to make of it other than you've got to start from the top. Everybody, that's where it all starts from. Every single one of these articles in the past few months simply starts with the top, with ownership, and that it was a very strictly run family business several years ago, and now it's not so strictly run family business. And that's the problem.
And it seems that just the 2 people who were in charge, Magic and Rob, just weren't experienced in their role and sort of just did whatever they want. But I think they were probably empowered to do that by Jeanie, to say, you know what, you guys just do what you need to do. And it really backfired because you need, this is, even though Magic Johnson, for example, was a fantastic player and he's a Laker legend, he's not experienced in that role. Right. And I think that came through because he was doing things and Rob was doing things, going in on coaches' meetings and being around the team when the GM and the president should be away. They've got a whole different role to play. And when they were in the practice facility and before the game and after the
coaches' meetings.
Luke Walton was saying, listen, this makes people uncomfortable because you're really not supposed to be here. This is the players and the coaches area. And I think those are the lines that really can't be crossed. And when they are, if there's no clear direction as to why those sort of guys are there, it just creates that fear and that distrust that Baxter talks about in there, because players are like, why is this guy here? What's he doing?
Right.
So you really have to step back. But again, if you're not experienced in that role, then maybe Rob Magic thought, well, this is fine. I'm the president. I make all the decisions. But I'm allowed to do it.
But maybe even if they're not experienced, if their job description and their duties were outlined a lot more clearly, that would be okay. Because people who are in general manager positions or president positions that don't have experience get those jobs all the time, and this doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just it's a top-down problem, and it trickles all the way down onto the court and into the locker room and into those coaches' meetings. Problems everywhere.
If this article is to be believed, let's lay it out here. Rob Pelinka is a liar. Magic Johnson is sort of Two-Face. Again, if you believe this article, and I'm not talking Harvey Dent, because I know there's a great Dark Knight reference in this article as well. It's very weird. Jeanie Buss, the owner, is either maybe clueless or has too many people whispering in her ear, or she's mentally checked out from running it. I'm just saying, again, this is what this article says.
Yeah, there's a lot of people running this ship.
Yeah, and then, even LeBron and his agent, Rich Paul, he's just being an agent, and he's trying to, be a bit of a puppet master and doing sort of agent-like things. It's crazy, and those are the pillars. I mean, those are really the pillars of any franchise.
Yeah.
We're talking about your owner, your GM, your president of basketball operations, and then your star player and his representatives. I mean, everybody looks bad in this article. And I feel, who I feel horrible for reading this? If it's all true, these young Lakers, like some of these guys like Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball. This is the only organization they've ever known in the league. And it sounds like a nightmare and a toxic environment. And you're almost are happy for a guy like D'Angelo Russell who in a weird way got out of there.
And he's thriving.
And is thriving and flourishing, exactly my point. So yeah,
and
there's a
Baxter
lot to
alluded
unpack
to that in the article, that these young players, when they were basically put on the table for Anthony Davis, I mean, how can you then just sort of forget about that and move on and carry on with things? You must feel that at some point the Lakers are going to go down that path again and try to trade you and try to move on. So it just makes it very, very awkward to be in that work environment when your bosses are basically saying, as soon as we get a better offer, you're out of here.
I've got a way to improve the situation. The Lakers and the Buss family sell the organization to James Dolan in the Knicks.
Oh my goodness.
And he takes over, and they take over the Knicks
you wanna
situation.
flip
It can't
it
get
up.
worse.
A trade.
A trade.
Flip it up.
It can't
Straight
get
up
worse.
trade.
I think everything would get better.
Let's look at the Lakers summer coming up here, though. Does this chaos impact the Lakers offseason in terms of luring free agents,
I don't think so.
or you don't believe so?
I don't think so.
Why?
Well, because LeBron James went there last year, and there was lots of turmoil as well.
Yeah, it arguably got worse, though.
It arguably did get worse, but I think the lure of LeBron is still there.
Still enough.
Well, it depends who you're talking about. I think someone like Kyrie or Jimmy Butler, who sort of enjoy that sort of chaos, maybe. Kawhi, no chance he's going to Lakers. I'll say right now, there is no way he's going to
Because he looks at this situation,
Of course,
and that doesn't seem like it would match up with his personality and what he
particularly
looks for.
after the season he's just had. I think he's staying in Toronto anyway, but I just don't see...
You're saying that the Raptors are such an A-class organization now
They
that
are.
people want to be there.
Wow,
things have turned around.
Exactly, they weren't always. In fact, the
Yeah.
the Raptors were a graveyard for a long time there, and that just shows that things can change. But Masai came in and changes not just the roster, but the culture. And I think that's what's important. At the Lakers culture right now, you've got guys, they took a swing on Rondo and McGee and Stevenson, guys who have had, troubled pasts, and things didn't work out. So you can't just change that overnight. It takes a lot of time, but certainly where they are right now, the Lakers need to improve the culture first.
I think they still go after Anthony Davis really hard. I think it keeps all those young guys on the table because they know that some guys may say, I'm not going there as a
Right.
free agent, so they have to go get Anthony Davis. Another Rich Paul client probably fits in well.
Exactly, all right. Crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, there it is, the worst of the year. Well-deserved, that Lakers banner. The only banner they had this year, unfortunately. Though they got a lot of real NBA championships banners, so not bad. When we come back, though, we're going to count down the top 10 plays of the playoffs so far as we get ready for the finals on Thursday. Back with the starters, the Toronto Raptors wrapped up the conference finals on Saturday. The NBA finals don't start until Thursday, which means we're all jonesing here for some NBA highlights. So let's scratch that itch and count down the top 10 plays of the playoffs so far at number 10. We'll start there, that makes sense. It's Myers Leonard.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to avoid getting swept from the Warriors.
I like the big chest pound there.
Going for 30 in Game 4 in this dunk on Draymond, yeah. And then the big pounding of the chest. Yeah. Not bad. Way to get us started, Myers.
We continue with Nikola Jokic going through the legs of Al-Farouq Aminu. That's a 7-footer, dropping a nutmeg. Look at this slow-mo. Wow, we even put some English on that. Real nice.
At number 8, we'll stick with the Nuggets. Jamal Murray going over the backboard in Game 4 of the series versus the Blazers. This was the Nuggets' first made basket of the game.
Unbelievable.
That's an H for Portland for sure.
Yeah,
Wow. Count it.
Round number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's going to chill in the air and then toss it up over Andre Drummond.
Even Andre liked this though. He was smiling afterwards.
When did this happen?
Yeah,
how many
like
how many
3
weeks
months
ago? Months ago? Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sometimes I dream. Very nice. Also, in the first round, our number 6 play, it's Miles Turner posterizing Gordon Hayward. Yeah, he just catapults up off him. Throws it down. Pacers were trying to avoid the sweep as well there against the Celtics. Huge dunk. Miles.
At number 5, a guy who really shone this postseason, Derek White. Day number 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Top of Paul Millsap.
Yeah,
Had himself a series, didn't he?
sure did.
Oh, huge. At number 4, Game 6, East Finals, Raps Bucks. I was there. I never get to
on the
say that.
court?
I was there, Lee. Kyle Lowry with the steal. Finds the trailing Kawhi Leonard.
But could you see this? Your seats are kind of behind the
Oh, I
backboard.
could see it, buddy. How would you know?
I know, man. I just needed that one little jab.
Oh, it was incredible. It was incredible. What a finish there. And that was sort of punching the tickets to the finals.
That was it. At 3, we got 3 blocks. This is 4th quarter of a Game 7. CJ McCollum, 4 minutes left, 4.5 minutes left. This huge, huge chase down.
Oh, man.
Beautiful.
Baby.
Another 4th quarter. Last game of the series here. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2 minutes left.
Fucking stupid.
2 minutes left, comes out of nowhere to get Kawhi.
He had jammed that, man.
And then the two-hander by Clint Capella on Iggy.
Who's just been dunking everything
Through
the postseason.
Oh.
Denied right there. At number 2, Game 5, first round. Lillard with the chance to send the Thunder home. Paul George says it was a bad shot. Lillard doesn't care. 37-foot step back to end the game and the series.
And the wave. Where's
Still
the wave?
incredible. Yeah,
There
goodbye
it is.
bye. We'll see ya. And then the stare. That's so good. That's not number 1 somehow.
Number 1 is another series-ending buzzer beater. 5 all-time coming into this postseason. We had 2 in this playoffs. Kawhi's in the second round. The old 4 bouncer.
Oh, man.
This is a Game 7 buzzer beater. Doesn't get better than that.
Everyone's just frozen in time.
Oh.
Still think it's not going to go down. There it is. Kawhi.
Were you in the building for that one, Skip?
I wasn't.
No?
I wasn't. I was jumping around my living room, hugging my wife with the Raptors advancing there. What a playoffs. When we come back, we're going to celebrate the birth of an NBA legend.
Oh.
Before we go tonight, we got to wish a happy birthday to not 1, but 2 basketball legends. That's right. Jerry West turns 81 today, and our very own Lee Ellis, our own basketball legend, turns 82. Unbelievable. You look amazing.
Yeah, we played a lot of years in the league together, myself and Jerry.
Yeah, that's right. No, Lee, 43 years young. Jerry West, 81, looking great as well. But he was the logo, Jerry West. But I mean, really, to us, it's Lee Ellis. Lee Ellis is the real logo. Chomping down on a banana.
Who put that one together?
Great stuff.
Oh, man, we need the finals to start very quickly around here.
Exactly. Well, we recorded a Drop podcast on Monday talking about the Raptors advancing to the NBA Finals, start previewing that Raps Warriors. Talked about a whole lot more. Go check that out, download it, and listen to it. We'll talk to Trey on tomorrow night's show. See you then.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, you got to go read Baxter Holmes' article on the Los Angeles Lakers on ESPN.
Brace tonight, people.
Yeah, tricky.